customers and their goals. So let's discuss your values for a moment. Now, keep in mind, I am talking to you as if you are a business. So when I say the word business, I mean you. When I say the word brand, I mean the brand you're pitching. Your core values should communicate what you believe process, but to give you some actionable steps, I'll share a fun 3-step process that's worked for me in the past and how you can apply these steps to your business as well. Step 1, brainstorm ideas and combine them into themes using the sticky note method. Now, if you're anything like me, you may be a visual person. You also may be someone who needs to get ideas out of your head and onto paper. So if so, then I recommend you brainstorming on actual sticky notes, hence the sticky note method. And here,
I just had to pause there because of course we love sticky notes. This is something that really resonates with me. I love this. It's one of the things I love about SkillVill. So I'm very excited to walk you through as I do this using the sticky notes on SkillVill. Within every circle, there is a sticky note tab, which is not the official name for it. It's the tasks tab. So things that you need to do or that you're working on, or visually you just want to see all your ideas side by side. There are things that are assigned to me and then I can create my own. So I'll definitely be using that tool in SkillVill to do this virtually. And I'm excited that this is something that we can definitely do together. So I'm going to keep playing, but I wanted to add how we would do this within the SkillVill app.
Here's how it works. Take a stack of sticky notes, set a timer. I recommend 15 minutes total, 5 minutes for each question, and write the answers down to these questions, one sticky note at a time.
Okay, stopping right here. This is great. See, I knew the content when we got into her actual process was going to be fantastic. This is why I invested into her program, because I loved how actionable and practical it was. So I knew that her content, and I'm so glad now that I'm going through it, it is getting back to kind of the vibe and the pace that I was hoping to have. So exercise, we're doing something. She's not telling us or lecturing us. She is saying, hey, look, do this. And then here's the limits, here's the rules of the exercise. And I'm very excited about that because this is something that when you're doing, you are activating a different part of the brain that actually helps you learn faster and remember better. So this is something that neuroscientists have proven in learning and how we learn as humans. When you do things, we are learning. Why is very interesting. I'm not going to bore you with that right now, but this is something that excites me. So what we're going to do is we're going to hear the whole exercise, and I will then go ahead and do that with you in our app.
Number 1, what do I stand for? Number 2, what do I value most? Number 3, what do I believe as a business? Now keep in mind, this is really about just letting your imagination go and thrive. This is not about overthinking. This should not be a grueling process. As long as you give yourself the time and space to be honest and listen to your gut, honest answers will start to flow out of you, I promise. Once I spend several minutes jotting down my answers to each of these questions, I place the sticky notes on a whiteboard or a wall so I can see what I wrote. And from there, I begin organizing the ideas into themes. What you want to look for here is common words or phrases that keep popping up. You want to look for similar themed values, if you will. So for example, the words connection, impact, financial growth, joy, and empowerment, as well as words that related to these words, repeatedly came up for me when I was doing this exercise. So clearly I knew these were values and beliefs that mattered to me and my business. At the end of the brainstorming session, I agreed on the 5 keywords or themed values.
Okay, so here I am in the app and I am on SkillVill. I'm going to use the circle that we're all becoming paid skill influencers. I go to the tab, which is our tasks tab. And for this exercise, what's really great is I can create my own sticky notes. So I'm following her process. So let me grab her questions. The first questions is, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? Sticky note. And you can use a sticky note in a lot of different ways. I'm going to do 3 separate ones, and I can then list some of my ideas of what I stand for. And then I'm going to do a new sticky note. So this is how I'm entering in my sticky notes. That way I can keep everything in one place. I love sticky notes, but they did take over my desk. So one of my favorite things is having sticky notes that I can digitally control. Also, it makes it really easy to copy and paste to a document to review later, or even put into an email and send it to myself to open tomorrow, which is, I think, a really great way. When she said, hey, review it tomorrow, just send yourself an email, like to yourself in the future. Say, hey, open me tomorrow. So I could copy and paste everything that I'm doing here today, and I can email it to myself. It's a great way to do a reminder. I don't have to schedule it on the calendar because I know every morning I check my emails and I'll knock it out. So find a way that is easy to do this for yourself using the sticky notes, whether it's you schedule every day a time to check in and do your tasks, whether it's you assign it to yourself on the calendar to check in and do your tasks, or like what I was going to do, which is email myself, because I know if it's in my inbox, I'll just put in the subject, hey, do this by tomorrow. And that's the best way to be the virtual assistant to me, to make sure I do do review this. So that is why I'm using the tool the way I am. You'll probably have some other really great ways that you can keep yourself accountable and quickly save time. I'm looking for things that'll save me time. So if I hand wrote this, I would have to handwrite, then I'd have to go and type. Why not just put it into a digital sticky note? It's all there. It's all organized already for me in the circle. And then I just send myself a quick email. Hey, check back in my circle tomorrow. Everything's there. I feel like I've saved myself some time and some steps because again, it's all about acting. And if I can save myself time, that's a win. All right, so I'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to add my other cards and show you what I came up with as what I stand for as my. It actually didn't even take me 15, partially because I've done similar exercises like this before, but I love that she put a timer on it. I think that's really good because time is valuable, and I love keeping things to like a limit, especially when it's a flow exercise. The whole point is keep it, really first thoughts out of your mind. So there were 3 sticky notes that I created, and I have, again, the benefit of having a digital sticky note. I copied and pasted the responses that I brainstormed, and I have what do I stand for. So for me, making things accessible, easy, reaching our potential, things that are going to help us be the best version of ourselves is really important to me. And that right, that like everybody has the right, built in to level up. Everyone should be able to do this. So that's, I think, some of the tenets that I stand for. They're really around the sense of justice and that it's fair, and this is the ideal that I want to perpetuate is probably the best way to say it. So what do I value most? This is something I did a lot of research on before, so I've been able to, over time, refine it to an acronym. We run everything through an empathy flow. Does it have her values? And this I adopted from, and again, this is what's so great about collaboration, my husband and co-founder of SkillVill, who he has had these tenets for a long time, and they're her. So her stands for you do it with humanity, empathy, and responsibility. If you run things through this, then we're good. It aligns with your top core values, and they do for me. So I've definitely adopted this. This is why sharing your answers to these questions, not only with yourself, tomorrow morning, I've assigned this to myself to be an email that's going to go into my inbox so I can just look at it and maybe refine some of the words, but also share it in the discussion tab. This is going to be really helpful for us to share these great ideas and help us put better words to it and inspire one another. So the humanity, empathy, and responsibility, what that means is, you're being honest, you're being transparent, you're continually evolving as a person, you're encouraging and supporting individuality. I think it's really, really important. One of the things that makes us human is that we're so unique. We all have different superpowers, and we want to celebrate those. Helping, learning, and growing more together. So you can collaborate together, and that is a really important element that I want to tie in with humanity, empathy, and responsibility. For me, responsibility is that we do it responsibly. We take in others' perspectives. We learn from each other. We grow. We evolve. So for me, all these words come together. Again, still following my her principles, but I went into the flow and made sure that I jot down specifics of, okay, what does that mean for me? So those are my values. I'm sharing this just to be completely transparent of what was going through on my mind as I was doing it. And what do I believe in as a business? So now I'm putting on the business cap. I'm thinking, okay, who do I do business with? Well, I want to make sure whoever I do business with, it's a win-win, that I'm adding value, that they're getting something as much as possible, but also it's a reciprocal relationship. I like to think of business not so much as, here, buy my wares, and it's, just take it and go and give me money like a transaction. For me, it's doing business with people is a relationship. And so I like this win-win. What did you get from it? What did we get from it? Is that mutually beneficial? I mean, does that help both of us? Are we both in a position that was better than if we hadn't had a relationship or been, together at that moment? And that's a different way of looking at it that I think is really important. I'll probably be working that out more. It aligns with values, integrity. I think in business, in any relationship, you need to do what you say. So holding those standards, business standards, the integrity needs to be there. So the follow through, the execution, and of course, always looking at ways to improve that. It's not always perfect, but we can really continually strive to improve and make sure that we are delivering to the best of our abilities. Then adding value, of course, they're better off, or I'm better off, or we're both better off is the goal together by having this relationship and being in business together, and fair. I think that's a big thing in terms of values, that it is fair. It's something that if someone had a free will choice to select to work with someone, I hope they would choose me. Or when they do choose me, it's because they had a full choice and they really liked it. So I think that fair exchange, that they have choices, they have options, they can find what's fair and best for them, is a really important part of business. So these are the things that I brainstormed, and I've already set up my email reminder tomorrow to check them out. So I'll be putting this into the next video as I don't think about it, finding those keywords and pulling those out, which is the next part of the exercise. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break because I'm just feeling video fatigue, and being honest with you guys, this is something where I just know if I keep going, I'm not going to be my best self. So I'm going to pause here for today.